Good evening, Kimberly House. You made it. We gotta talk, y'all. We got to talk. We gotta talk because we have to get out of these fairy tales. We have to get out of these fairy tales. So we gotta talk. We gotta talk. We gotta talk about why people feel it is why people don't understand the significance of Malia Obama dropping the Obama name. We got I don't like I oh y'all, man, that feels so good. I look like Ariel Natty Dreadwee. Thank you, Suzette Benzo. So, okay, so I had a lot of people in the comments who were like, oh, you're reaching. So I'm gonna, ICE is fucking up downtown LA. I heard. Jonathan, honestly, I'm surprised that you don't. I'm surprised that. Okay. What has happened for a lot of people in this country is that they have lost sight of what the president actually is. There is a very, there has been a really effective push to make the concept of the president more like a celebrity than an actual enactor of empire and a part of a legacy of United States involvement in global geopolitical disruption that holds a lot of secrets. When you think about the fact that there have only been 47 presidents, that's not a lot. 47. The United States, I don't know what bullying means. I'm not sure why that's there. But the United States and the people that it puts in power, for a lot of us, we are still believing a lie that we're putting these people in power, and we are not. I think at this point, it's really kind of impractical to believe that a country that has such a deep, storied history of CIA involvement, of destabilizing of other nations, that they would trust the decider of the literal CEO of this company to its people. This country doesn't even want to feed its people. This country doesn't want to care for its people. This country doesn't want to house its people. This country does not have a high regard for its people. So it seems impractical to me to consider that it would simultaneously also consider us to be a viable source for deciding who is running the country. This country is an oligarch. It has always been an oligarch. It was created by land-owning white men who did not lead a revolution for the goal of liberation. They led a revolution because they felt like they were tired of paying taxes to a monarchy. That's it. Okay? They said, why does England get all our money and keep telling us what to do? We want to take all our money and tell us what to do. But it still had slaves. It still had slaves. So I'm just laying out, like, I'm taking it way back right now. Okay? I'm taking it way back. So we're going to start with that understanding. So as we have seen the United States continue to exist, we understand that after emancipation, there was a Reconstruction period where the country could have gone in one direction. However, the Confederacy was like, nope, we're not going to let it go in that direction, and we're going to keep it on the same track. So I think it's important to note that the United States has never strayed. I think it's also important to note that these people who created the United States may have wanted to break from the monarchy, but ultimately they were mimicking the monarchy. Like, they built their buildings just like England, they dressed just like England, and ultimately they believed in a certain level of nobility, like England, etc. Okay? So when it comes to the role that the president has played in the United States, it is a certain monarchical role. It is a certain position that is meant to be representative of, it's like a king role. Okay? So last names and legacy have always been a part of our government. Always. You're seeing the same people come up and through, whether they're in Congress, local government, etc. Like right now, we have Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is the governor of Arkansas, but now her husband is the ambassador to Israel, I think. We have the Bushes, of course. We have, I think, Chelsea Clinton be doing something. So I say all that to say that the last name thing, like, that's not to be discarded casually as it relates to being a member of the legacy of United States leadership. Like, that's not a casual thing. She also was the first Black first daughter. She's also not getting married. I think it's really unrealistic to think that the daughter of the president, who went to Harvard, who does not have a history of serious drug use like these other kids, who is pretty well known as having a head on her shoulders, whose sister also has a head on her shoulders, who's been in writers' rooms for progressive TV shows. It seems like, in pattern recognition, this is not a willy-nilly child. Like, this is not like a young person, a young adult, because she's in her 20s. This is not a young adult who is has a history of getting caught on some BS, right? Which, by the way, the Bush's daughters was really on some wildness, the Jenna Bushes. So there's nothing cavalier in that. I want to also frame that her mother has been consistently shitting on Barack since she got out of that office. When you write a book and you talk about, I hated that man for 13 years, I don't care what nobody say. You do not, okay? You do not just casually say some shit like that. You know how long 13 years is? Famo. She said that and y'all let that ride and had the nerve to be like, I mean, having kids is difficult. Honey child, boo-boo baby. Okay? The mama was talking so wild about this man that folks was like, is they getting a divorce? Like, that's how wild Michelle was talking about this man. Now, some of y'all might be like, Amanda, why are you making a topic out of this? Because this is the presidency. And I remember a homeboy of mine, I was like, you know, he was telling me that he had been really irritated at seeing Michelle being so like cutesy with George Bush. And he said his homeboy said to him, they share secrets that no one else knows. They are in a very small club. They are in a very small club. What I think a lot of folks are still very endeared by is the concept that it was an accomplishment for Barack Obama to be president, rather than consider it as a manipulation of the people for Barack Obama to be president. Barack Obama was in office as the first Black president. And the common narrative was, why would we expect him to do anything for Black people? He's the president. He doesn't have that kind of power. That was a general conversation that was happening on a regular basis. Mind you, he had the House and the Senate. He also had executive order power. And so there's a decolonizing that a lot of us have to accept if we actually want liberation. There is a very real understanding that we fail to acknowledge, which is that Barack Obama was not a Black American legacy child. He was born in a colony, Hawaii. His mother was a white woman. His father was from Kenya. He was not a benefactor of reparations. Some might say, Amanda, you're sounding like a conspiracy theorist. Because this country is a conspiracy. The entire country is a conspiracy. Kamala Harris, the only other Black candidate for president backed by the DNC, was also not a legacy Black American. She was not a descendant of Black Americans. And I don't necessarily mean slavery, because there were Black people that were freedmen the whole time. But she was not a descendant of Black Americans. She would not have been a recipient of reparations. So, we need to be willing to understand the groundwork of these things, the underpinning of these things, to be able to properly position these individuals in their roles of empire and the perpetuation of imperialism. And we want to consider that because they're Black, it is advancement. However, it is impractical to do so, because we also like to do so in a framework that is a conflation of equals. The Black people that entered politics post antebellum and post civil rights movement were by and large doing so as resistance measures, because there was no actual career politics. Like, you could get killed. Okay? Good night, Isabel. You could get killed. So it's not the same context. And we oftentimes apply this timeline context to Blackness without acknowledging that Blackness in America has shifted with the timeline due to access to money, due to access to political positions, due to access to fame and status. So all of this is important to consider when we look at someone like Malia Obama, who is a part of this legacy. And she is making a choice to disassociate herself from that legacy. And I don't care if you tell me it's about she don't want to be a Nepo baby, etc., etc. If you told your mama today, I don't want our last name anymore, she would look at your nut ass like you was crazy. I want y'all to really think about, if you told like your parent today, I don't want our last name, would they feel some type of way? Think about it. Now I want you to think about it in the context of your last name being representative of what has been deemed the epitome of Black excellence. The epitome of Black excellence. The epitome of Black excellence. That is what the name Barack Obama came to represent. And some of y'all may not have been there, but I was there. Okay? I was on the mall. I was at the party in 2008 when he got elected. Listen to my special, my HBO comedy special. I talk about it. I was there in 2012. I was there. Barack Obama was the pinnacle of Black excellence. He was positioned as, this is now the North Star of our possibility. That's how he was positioned. The reality is that he was simply just a tool to dispel the disassociativeness of government from Black people, to further our willingness to be weapons against our own people's advancement. So with that context, I want you to consider, for her as a 20-something-year-old person to say, yeah, I'm good, I don't want that name. And then I want you to think about this. I have been a part of media since I was 8. And I love when you all say things like, it could be as simple as owning autonomy. That doesn't make it less of a big deal. And don't call me diva. It doesn't make it less of a big deal. And they didn't say that it was autonomy. And you know who didn't say that? Malia. The statement didn't come from Malia. It came from her mama. And for those of you who are still believing press releases, I can't help you. Like, if you're still believing a press release, I can't help you. Why are y'all still believing press releases? And y'all are saying, I wonder if she felt it that deeply. Nobody changes their names lightly. Nobody. Nobody changes their names lightly. I don't care what y'all say. Nobody. Don't nobody change their name lightly. I'm somebody who didn't even legally change my name, and I had to think about it. I'm going to go by the name Amanda Diva. Do I want to go by that name? Then I had to switch back, and I had to really think about it. And I ain't attached to nobody. When women change their names in marriage, it's a decision. It's a decision. And for those of y'all who think this isn't a big deal, it is a big deal for the daughter of the only Black president in history to say, I don't want to carry that last name. There is no such thing as anonymity for Malia Obama. She literally has Secret Service for the rest of your life. So, I mean, you all can carry on thinking like, oh, you know, maybe she just wants a blah, 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 blah. And that's your prerogative. I do not believe that. I do not believe that. I don't believe that when you are the daughter of the president, that any decision you make is done lightly. Because you are forever representative of the United States. Forever. Yes. That's the thing that I think y'all are like forgetting. And you're wanting to like protect her because she's a Black woman, and I respect that. That makes sense. However, you're still thinking of her as like the daughters of Barack Obama, and she's not a child. She's an adult saying, I don't want to be associated with this. And whether that's because she wants autonomy, like, do you know how nuts it is to say I want autonomy from the only Black president? Like, no, she might be an individual, but she is a part of a legacy. And the fact that you all don't seem to grasp that means that you don't really see the bigger picture of what we're involved in here in this United States. Like, that is a real thing. Her parents gave that up. And so she might be saying, I didn't get to choose this, so I want to disassociate. That's still a big deal. That's still a big deal. You know, and we do that as adults. We say, now I get to choose. And she might be saying, I don't want this anymore. I would bet money that her parents are not cool with this. Or both of them aren't. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine Barack Obama being like, yeah, that's cool. I don't see it. I don't see it. And for this person, Laurel King, who's coming in here saying leave people alone, if you put out a press release with a quote from your mother, that is saying that it will get discussed. I also want to acknowledge this concept of leave people alone. This person is a part of the legacy of the empire. So shut up. Shut up. Like, that's just nonsensical. So, and again, I want to remind you all, I study politics every fucking day. I have been in the public my entire life. I understand how things work. So it makes sense to consider my opinion on things. So when people try to argue with me about MTV made me, that's not true. When people try to diminish the merit of my insights, it's like, it's weird. Like, that's a weird, that it means that you're like looking at me like I'm some like pop culture commentarian or something. Which is weird. Which is weird. I mean, I am just far more than that. And there you go, Maxine Shaw. Her father has no male heirs. So you could call it what you want. Call it what you want. But it's just, it's something. It's something. And to act like it's not is disingenuous. It's just disingenuous. So, thank you, Raja Mojo. Like, when people tell me to leave people alone, I'm just like, no. No. Yes, the Obama name could end with Barack. But, for instance, I am a Seals. My mother is a Seals. I could have taken my father's name at some point. I'm a Seals, and my mama is Seals. Yes, Rolando does be saying what needs to be said every time we get in here. It's all about giving his daughters leeway to expand and be themselves. One thing that I think is fascinating about y'all is the esteem with which you hold Barack Obama. What's in a name that which we call a rose? By any other name would smell so sweet. So Romeo would were he not Romeo called. Like it's weird with all we know to continue to hold Barack Obama in esteem. Like that's weird to me. Like you saw him yucking it up with Trump at the funeral. like like we saw that. Raja Mojo, don't get me in here quoting Romeo and Juliet. I'll mess around and do the whole play. Like we saw it happen. We saw that happen. They're literally called the first family. Like that's not a small thing. 45 spent money and years trying to literally discredit Barack Obama. Yes, the Capulets are down. They're down. Into the Woods? Oh, don't get me started. I wish more than anything, more than life, more than jewels. I wish more than anything, like more than the moon. I wish you go to the festival. I see what you're saying, Alexandria. Okay. The king is getting a festival. I wish my cow would give us some milk. I wish we had a child. I wish to go to the festival. I started too high. I wish we might have a child. I wish. You wish to go to the festival. The poor girl's mother had died. You, Cinderella, what you, Cinderella, what you wish to go to the festival. The festival, the king's festival. The festival. Look at your nails, look at your dress. People would laugh at you. Nevertheless, we still would you go to the festival and dance before the prince. Ha, 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 ha. The Five Heartbeats is a musical. Orlando, now you know that's a lie. Yo, give me a call if you got, just give me a call. And he said, do I look like I got a phone? Jack, 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 head in a sack. The house is getting colder. This is not a time for dreaming. Chimney stack starting to crack. The mice are getting bolder. The floor's gone slack. Your mother's getting older. Your father's not back. And we can't just sit here dreaming pretty dreams. To wish and wait the day away. We'll never keep the wolves away. So into the wood, the time is now. We have to live. I don't care now. Into the woods we have to go. I must begin the journey. Into the woods to sell the gun. Into the woods to grandmother's house. Into the woods to grandmother's house. You're certain of your way. The way is dark. The light is good. I have no fear nor no one should. The woods are just trees. The trees are just wood. I sort of hate to ask it, but do you have a basket? This is a good time to tell you that when I got Into the Woods soundtrack, I got the British version because basically my sophomore year of high school. So, okay, my freshman year of high school, I was bullied by the white girls in my class. One of them's name is Jessica Rush. She's on Broadway sometimes, but she was a bully, and her father was also a bully. And he was racist, but that's another conversation. So anyways, she was like, they would make fun of me because I didn't know musicals. And like my freshman year of high school, I was in the drama program, but I was really raw talent. Like I had been a working actor, but I didn't know anything about music. Patricia, you know what? Y'all, Patricia put the popcorn up. So then I was, so then it became like, oh, yes, Rolando. So it was like, oh, I gotta like get it together because like I can't have these broads on me. I'll never forget when they were talking about The Secret Garden and I was like, oh, the movie? And they were like, the movie? We're talking about the musical. And I know it seems ridiculous, Maxine, but we were in a visual and performing arts magnet. So like, this is the type of things that go down. It was very Glee, honey. It was very Glee. Okay? And so I was like, and I was a gymnast at the time. So like theater was kind of like my side piece because I was really like a competitive gymnast. So we couldn't afford to buy like musical CDs because most musical CDs were double discs and those joints was expensive AF. So my mom would take me to the library. And so I would check out the CDs from the library. And the library really only had like original cast recordings, even though there had been like new revivals, they only had like original cast recordings. So like I know the original cast recording of Sound of Music, of Company, of what else was I listening to? Damn Yankees. Who else? What else am I missing? Guys and Dolls. And so, like, that's what I was downloading. I mean, not even downloading because we didn't have downloads then. So I was getting those from the library and I would be like studying them. Okay. And this is the autism, right? This is hyper fixation. Okay. So like Cats, they didn't have Les Mis, so I didn't get Les Mis. And then like I went to like a theater competition and they had a like opening numbers CD that came in like a gift bag. To this day, I know every song on that CD. Like if I hear a song singularly, like my brain goes to the next song already. So long story short, now we get to sophomore year and I quit gymnastics. I'm diving now, but I'm also like more in the mix with folks. LaVon Bracey, who's actually a state senator or a state representative in Florida. She was a senior at the time and I was like under her wing. So me and Michael Scott, who is the genie in Aladdin on Broadway right now, we were under her wing. And then like Alano Miller, who, what was the last thing Alano was in? Alano was in Dexter, like the reboot of Dexter. He was the cop. So, and he's married to DeWanda Wise, the actress from like Jurassic Park and She's Gotta Have It. So we're all, so they're seniors. And then there's Kenyon Adams who runs like a theater thing in Connecticut. So it's like Kenyon and LaVon are seniors and they're like running the show. And then you had Alano, who was a junior, and then you had, and also we were friends with like Tony Yazbek, who's been nominated for like several Tonys. He was a senior. So then, and then you had like me and Michael, but, Fahad, so glad you made it to Mecca safely. Alhamdulillah. And Eid Mubarak. So now I'm around like theater kids all the time. And like, so this is like when Rent comes out. This is when the Chicago revival comes out with BB Newirth and N. Ranking. This is when How to Succeed in Business comes out. Ragtime came out like shortly after. So like, this is like a real big like boom. Okay. It's a really big boom in musicals. And we were doing Into the Woods that year at my high school. And so I begged my mom, like, can you buy me the Into the Woods CD? And she bought me the British cast. So when I sing Into the Woods, I sing it in a British accent. I sort of hate to ask it, but do you have a basket? Into the woods and down the dale, the path is straight, I know it well. Into the woods, but who can tell what's waiting on the journey? Yes, Lion King came out. Yep, I was there. Yeah. Fly, birds, back to the sky, back to the eaves and the leaves and the fields and the castles and pick through the birds, pick through the ashes, pick and swiftly pick through the ashes into the pot. But mother, no! She's the best cow! Look at her. There are bugs on her dogs. There are flies on her eyes. There's a lump on her rump big enough to be a hump. But, son, there's no time to sit and dither while her withers wither. And no one keeps a cow for a friend. And then the witch comes in. When your mother was with child, she developed an unusual appetite. And she took one look at my garden and said, greens, nothing but greens, parsley, peppers, cabbages, and celery, asparagus, and watercress, and winter pot lettuce. She said, all right. It wasn't quite, so I got into my garden one night. She was robbing me, raping me, rooting through my rutabaga, raping my arugula, ripping up my rampion, my champion, my favorite. I should have laid a spell on him right then. Should have turned him into stone, or a dog, or a chair. The rampion I'd lost to spare, and turned however I said, fair is fair. You can let me have the baby that your wife will bear, and we'll call it square. I had a brother? No! But you had a sister. I thought I had been more than reasonable. Yeah, I can do this all night, yeah. But your father stuck into my garden. Beans, the magic beans! I let him go, I didn't know he stole my beans! Wait, beans, the magic beans. I let him go, I didn't know he stole my beans. Now I gotta figure this out. Hold on. Beans, the magic beans. I let him go. I didn't know he'd stolen my beans. I was watching him crawl back over the wall and then bang, crash, and the lightning flash. And well, that's not the story. Never mind. Anyway, and as the big day came, and I made my claim, they said, "Don't take away our baby." They screeched, but I did. And I hid it where shall never be reached. And your mother cried, and your father died, and for extra measure, I admit it was a pleasure. I said, sorry, I'm still not mollified. And I put a little spell on you too, son. That your family tree would always be a barren one. Hold on. Wait, no. So there's no more fuss and there's no more scenes and my garden thrives. You should see my nectarines. But I'm telling you the same I tell kings and queens. Don't ever mess around with my greens. Especially the beans. So if you listen to Into the Woods and you understand like the time when it was written, because Into the Woods was like 90s. Into the Woods originally came out. Hold on, original cast 1987. That's when hip hop started popping. So Sondheim is literally employing hip hop. Like, think about the witch. Beans, nothing but greens, parsley's, peppers, greens, nothing but greens, parsley's, peppers, cabbages, and celery, asparagus, and watercress, and bitter and lettuce. Like, that's rap. That's rap. Rolando, that's gross. So I let him have the rampant, I'd lots to spare, and in turn, however, I said, fair is fair. You could let me have the baby that your wife will bear, and we'll call it square. Right? First, I'll need a certain potion first. Go to the woods and bring me back 1, the cow as white as milk, 2, the cape as red as blood, 3, the hair as yellow as corn, 4, the slipper as pure as gold. Bring me these before the strike of midnight, and in 3 days' time, you shall have, I guarantee, a child as perfect as child can be. Go to the wood! Now may I go to the ladies, our carriage waits. Now may I go to the festival? The festival? Darling, those nails, darling, the dress. People would laugh at you. Nevertheless, you still wish to go to the festival and dance before the prince. The carriage is waiting. We must be gone. Good night, Father. Good night. I wish. The spell is on my house. Only I can lift the spell. No, the spell is on our house. We must lift the spell. No, the spell is on my house. Now, what was I supposed to get again? You don't remember? The cow is white as milk. The hair is yellow as corn. The slipper is pure. Why am I coughing so much? I still wish to go to the festival, but how am I ever to go to the festival? I know I'll visit mother's grave. That note is wild. Grave of the hazel tree. Into the woods without regret, the choice is made, the task is set. Into the woods but not forgetting why I'm on the journey. Into the woods to get our wish, I don't care how, the time is now. Into the woods to sell a cow. Into the woods to get the money. Into the woods to lift into the woods to lift the spell, to make the potion, to go to the festival. Into the woods to grandmother's house. Into the woods to grandmother's house. The way is clear, the light is good. I have no fear, no, I should. The woods are just trees, the trees are just woods. No need to be afraid there, there's something in the glade, dear. Yeah. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow. Into the woods without delay the path, but careful not to lose the way. Into the woods, but know what made the working on the journey. Into the woods to get the thing that makes it worth the journeying. Into the woods to see the king, to sell the cow, to make the potion, to see, to sell, to get, to bring, to make, to lift, to go to the festival. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods to grab the. Into the woods and out of the woods and home before dark. Boom. Okay. So we've done that. We did that. I've been good and I've been kind, mother, doing only what I learned from you. Why then am I left behind, mother? Is there something more that I should do? What is wrong with me, mother? Something must be wrong. I wish. Is that my Jedi? If you know what you want, and you're certain of your wish, ask the tree, and you shall have your wish. Shiver and quiver, little tree. Let me tell you the most Caribbean thing my mother has said to me in a long time. Yesterday, my mother said, "What's the Disney thing with the sisters and they bring a shoe?" I said, "Are you referring to, first of all, hype, I don't know you, and I don't know if people around you make you think that that's an appropriate thing to say to somebody, but it's not. So you can get out of here talking about where are your meds. Who the fuck are you talking to?" But my mother said to me, "What's the Disney thing with his sisters and they bring a shoe?" I said, "Are you referring to Cinderella?" "Yes. Yes." It's like, you're a ridiculous person. A ridiculous person. Shiver and quiver, little tree. My mom is hilarious. Yes. So this is Jedi. Jedi went on a 3-day solo vacation about a month ago while my mom was visiting. And yeah, Jedi got outside, and for 3 days Jedi was in the world, honey. Jedi was just in the world. Yeah, you. I'm talking about you. Remember that? When you was outside? And then on day 3, my mom went outside and Jedi was like, "Meow, meow, meow. Bring me inside immediately." Yes, it was mayhem. Talk amongst yourselves. I have to go get bigger packages. Actually, shivering with a little tree, sovereign gold fall down on me. I'm off to get my wish. There are giants in the sky. There are big, tall, terrible giants in the sky. What's up, mama? When you're way up high, you look below at the world you've left and the things you know. You're free to do whatever pleases you, exploring things you'd never dare, because you don't care when suddenly there's a... Yeah, Jedi is absolutely fixed, of course. Come on now. Y'all know I wouldn't play about something like that. Big, tall, terrible giant at the door. A big, tall, terrible lady giant sweeping the floor. And she gives you food and she gives you rest. And she draws you close to her giant breast. And you know things now that you never knew before. Off to the sky. Do y'all have any questions? I thought you were going to say the theatrical renditions of scenes where they incorporate shoe on the plate as food. I have absolutely no idea what that sentence means, but yes, Jedi is absolutely getting 2 new siblings. But the 2 that I had fell in love with at Flatbush Cats had already been adopted. Ma'am, you have to either be over here or on the ground. Because there's really like no room like that for you. And they had already been adopted, so... And then the other ones that I was like drawn to, make a decision. I'd be just like, what's going on in their minds, you know? What you trying to figure out? You want to go? You want to get off? What are you trying to figure out, Mama? I want to meet your needs, but I can't really figure out what you want. What does she want? You want to get down? You want to get down? Do you want to come on my lap? What are you? No? Oh, you want pets. You want pets. That's what you want. She wants pets. Are people in here saying they're not fans of cats? Because I don't understand you people. We don't understand those people. Because we love cats over here. Why are you in all caps, ma'am? Why are you yelling at us? Monique, we said it at the same time. It's like, girl, why are you yelling? Like, we hear you. We read, we see you. So, what's on your minds? Does anyone... Am I dating? There's no one to date. Though I spoke to a medium today. And they said that apparently I'm about to meet the love of my life. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. Jasmine Crockett is running for something. What's she running for? Did I have a good experience? I mean, it kind of just felt like whatever. Like I didn't really believe him. I mean, I think that and that's more on me than him. It just felt like the stuff that he was relaying to me, felt like dated. Shamika. It felt like dated. Like, so it didn't feel like somebody, it didn't feel like guidance. Like it felt, because it was being said to me as like things I need to, like things I should do. And it was like, yeah, but like I'm already doing that. And then there was also, he was saying that I need to like make up with my dad and shit like that. And I was just like, yeah, I don't think that's like legit. It didn't feel like a reading, I have to say. It kind of felt more so like, yes, Lulu. Yeah. Honestly, Lulu, it felt like I was like, you know what? I think maybe this is really not effective for you because like you're super tapped in. So like, what, if anything, like you would simply want to talk to people who can help you be more tapped in. And like, am I at peace with the relationship with my father? Yeah, like my father is an asshole and I'm at peace with that. Like I don't harbor like any desires. Yes, I did, Fahad. But I had to have a meeting with my right hand person about like the future months of things before we could respond. So yes, we did get your email. Thank you so much. Yeah, like I don't feel like I have like residual, I don't have any like desire to like have a relationship with my father. And in the reading, he was saying that like, oh, like my father like is insecure, like your guides are saying that, you know, your father is insecure, like he just needs love. And I was just like, I mean, that might be true, but that doesn't mean it has to come from me. I don't think that's my responsibility. And I don't think that's a part of any type of healing for me. So I just feel like if that was coming from my guides, it was like, nah, y'all. Like my father told my mother he divorced me. Like I'm not trying to. I don't. There is no need to try to reconcile anything. And so then at some point in the reading, I felt like I was just kind of being present, more so for the medium than because of like me actually believing what he was saying. Exactly, Rolando. And my mom was like, "Yeah, it doesn't work that way." Like, it doesn't work that way, my man. To annoy my mother, I call my father her baby daddy, and she's like, "Max, please, please." I was like, "I saw your baby daddy on the internet today with my relatives, with my brothers and sisters. You won, sis, because that man look a mess." But I also felt like it was I didn't. You have to go. You have to go. You have to go. You're being very disruptive. I didn't feel like any of it. You know, sometimes you have readings and you're like, "Oh, okay. Like I see you. I believe you." And nothing they said today made me be like, "Oh, okay. We in it. We're in it." Like they're about it. So that was that. I mean, what you gonna do? Why do the readings? I don't understand. What do you mean, why do the readings? Like, why? Like, why do I like doing readings? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he came very highly recommended. But it just ended up not really being like helpful for me. That's all. It was empty. Yeah, like it just, but I will tell you that this is not the first time where I've gone to somebody that someone else has really told me like was like really like they stood on it. And then I went and then it wasn't like effective. And then after I had to think about it and I was like, yeah, but you and that person, like y'all are not in touch in the same way. Like y'all are not tapped in the same way. So, it's not about shifting your focus externally. It's that I don't have I'm not a medium. So I don't have that gift. So, you know, if somebody else has a gift that I don't have, I might just tap into that. Well, they were like, oh, he was like, your grandmother just showed up, but I didn't. Like my grandmother, and then he was like, your ex that passed away showed up. And then he said that, like, my grandfather on my father's side showed up. And yeah. I don't have a favorite spoken word artist. I'm good at doing spoken word, and I like writing spoken word, but I don't like listening to spoken word. I know that sounds terrible. That shocks you? Yeah, because it was just like the well, I will say this. When I was coming up in spoken word, I feel like there was a lot more variety of delivery. There was definitely a lot more of people having the like it was like a regular, like a known thing that you needed to define your own delivery in that way. Whereas now, and that happened because there had become an aesthetic that folks wanted to break out of, because this whole thing like this, folks wanted to break out of that. So then it became like, okay, people were doing all different types of vibes. But now I feel like it's gone back to there being like a certain, like, this is the spoken word style. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Like my boy Jive Poetic. I like how Jive delivers poems because it just feel like he talking to you. No, she did not, Patricia. No, she did not. Oh, we are not shedding a tear over that weird Hollywood shit. No siree, Bobby. Rolando said, poets be making me feel naked and shit. Okay. we not, Patricia. These people be so weird and fucking funny acting. It's just like, all right, that's what you want. You the shit, girl. Hey, baby. Can I be your slave? I got to admit, girl, you the shit, girl. And I'm digging you like a grave. Do they call you daughter to the spinning pulsar? Sister to a distant moon? Is your name maybe Ya? Oh, hell, nah, I got to be Oshun. Is that a smile me put on your face, girl? Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Walk that talk, honey. Walk that walk, money. The blues in your left eye. Trying to become the funk in your right. Is that all right? Oh, that's all right, baby. That's all right. Someone had asked me something. Oh, someone had asked me something. Would I do another acting role? Yeah, I mean, it would just need to interest me. You know? It would just need to interest me. And that's the thing, you know, it's hard to interest me. Cuz a lot of the roles just be so basic and kind of just not really about nothing. And I'm at a point in my life where like I just don't have the energy to be about anything that's just about nothing. Would I play a villain? It would really, really depend on the context. I would never play a villain in a piece where white people were the victims. And if I were a villain in something with black folks, I mean, it would have to be a very particular type of context. But I don't really. I mean, well, you know, one day I may make my own movies, but that's just kind of not at present where I feel my work and my purpose are grounded. I got to bolster up my research and kind of really lean more into the intellectualism of it all. But I would, if Ryan Coogler called me and was like, "Hey, so I got this part that I feel like you really like murdered this shit," then of course. Yay, Joni, you got to watch What Would the Ancestors Say. One thing about Joni Toole, she gonna be on my head about a stream, okay? Are you streaming this? I said, make sure we stream this. And we gonna make sure we stream this so that Joni can see it. So I was really glad we were able to do that. And I was really glad you were able to watch it. Yeah, Trayshawn, it's like, I mean, I understand that media is propaganda, so I'm very cognizant of the way in which, you know, we can be misused in that regard. And I think it's a lot of people that kind of just, you know, don't have that awareness. And that lack of awareness is just, to me, like willful ignorance. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I gotta get something from downstairs. Oh, Jordan, are you a sweeps? Are you a sweeps, Jordan? Oh my goodness, look at this big stretch. Yeah, look at this happy tail. Oh my god. Is that a Jordan? It is a Jordan. man knows. What are you doing, Bubba? Don't jump. Don't. Oh my gosh. Why do you jump so far? Is that my Jedi's? I love my animals. I just be in here talking to my animals. I just be in here talking to them. I be like, what y'all on? I be like, what y'all doing? What y'all on? If there was a movie on your life, who would I want to play me? I don't think I met her yet. Y'all about to get so sick of what would the ancestors say. Rolanda gonna be DMing y'all on the side like, oh, here she go again. Alicia Keys. Jonathan took that back so quick. He was like, my bad. I want y'all to know that I could have been done with this, but I'm here with y'all. I'm here with y'all. Do you see how slow I am packaging these things? Cause I'm fucking around with y'all. Ask me some questions so that I can body double. Emma's like, ain't it past your bedtime? It is, but I run my own business, so. You know, the New York mayor options, it's like, it's really either Zoran or Cuomo in my mind. Like, that's it. Otherwise, like, what are we really talking about? And everybody is such a Zionist that it's just, it's so just bugged how just bleeding heart Zionists these people are. And just spineless, you know? Like, really spineless. The summit dates are um September 19th, 20th, and 21, I believe. Thank you, Jeremiah Walton. Yeah, they had asked me to come back again this weekend, and I was just like, I need to know that if there's breaking news, that y'all are not going to keep me waiting again, because ultimately I come down here to do this. And then if you have breaking news, you have me bumped. And so I basically made the trip for no reason. And I just don't have time to be doing that, especially for free. Like, I'm not doing that. And then they were like, oh, well, we can just like let you know, we can just keep you in our 8 o'clock hour, and that way like we can let you know ahead of time. And I was like, no, that's not enough, because I'm coming from a different distance than like in the city proper. So then they were just like, oh. So I was just like, yeah, so I'm gonna pass. And they were just like, well, if you're ever in the city, like, let us know. So I won't be on there much. What song describes me as a person? Who knows? That's a question I've actually never thought of. What song describes me as a person? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No, it won't work. That describes me as a person. What was Amanda Diva's dream collab? Andre. Andre and this flute just, I'm not with it. And all the y'all who be acting like he's really doing something with that flute, I'm looking at every single one of you sideways. The reason being, and let me just say this, the reason being is because it feels very entitled in terms of craftsmanship. Like, there really is no, he doesn't really exhibit any level of, it's like he just like started doing it and he liked it, and so he put it out. And there is a liberation to that and a freedom to that. But just as somebody who holds like artistic craftsmen in such like a high level, I just hold that to like such a high level. I feel some type of way when people just be like, oh, I'm doing this now. I just feel some type of way when they're just like, oh, I'm doing this now. Like when T.I. was just like, oh, I'm a comic. And it's like, like, no, like that's why there was like apprenticeships and shit. You know? And because he's Andre, he could go in there and just do an album and people are going to go along with it. But I just felt like, for me, I felt like it was kind of disrespectful to musicians. But to each their own. You know, to each their own. There it is. Not Tiny's husband. That's how I feel about honorary degrees as well. You won't catch me accepting an honorary degree. Again, to each their own. But for me, I'm cool. Well, yeah, like you do have to start somewhere. But he started at like major jazz festivals. Like as a headliner. That's somewhere. All right. So, Kim, I feel like the thought process is that they claim the doctor because it was bestowed upon them. So, like, it's not like it's no shade to those who do, because like it was bestowed upon you. So, yeah, I get it. I just for me personally, I'm not into it. For me. Yeah, not a here nigga damn degree. Not a here nigga damn degree. This is a lot. So I'm going on this freedom ride this week. I'm gonna be on a bus with different faith leaders and organizers and activists traveling down the eastern seaboard to talk about immigration rights and working people's rights. My big sale Hema is next weekend. And this is going to be a new experience for me. So, but I'm looking forward to being able to build with these folks, you know, in a positive context that really is you know, clear. Oh, you like FKA Twigs? Yeah, I love me some FKA Twigs. We had brunch in LA. And she was lovely. She was so little. She was so little. Oh, y'all are. I feel like y'all forget that I don't like the term celebrity, but I know niggas. What was it like being a child actress? I talked about this a little on the Shannon Sharp interview. Like, I feel like my experience as a child actress was different than others because it was more like I was just a child who acts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like an extracurricular activity, like a kid who plays soccer or goes to piano lessons. Like, that's how it was. Like, that's the way that it was contextualized, like, in my life. Like, my mother did not center it as like a, I mean, she prioritized it in terms of, you know, when the agent would be like, you really need to go to this audition because I think you can book it. Like, my mom would basically, I mean, like, my mom came and picked me up during our 5th grade trip to Wekiva River Park, and I was livid. And I went and auditioned for what's it called? Cop and a Half. I was so pissed. Which of my many accomplishments am I most proud of? I'm really proud of my comedy special. Like, because in order for me to get to do my comedy special, it just required me to really just be so steadfast. And I had people around me who at that time were also like locked in. And it just ended up really being a blessing to be able to do that with Stan Lathan as my director and Jesse Collins as my executive producer. And I got to do it in the Supper Club, which is where I did Def Poetry Jam when I was 19. Thank you, Lulu. And, you know, I wrote it 100% myself. Good night, Zoo. And, like, I designed the poster. So it was at a time in my life where there was like a lot of doubt that I like really just stayed the course through. And I got to really experience, like, I feel like the full breadth of like making it. Like, I don't need to do that again. Like, I got my billboard on Sunset Boulevard. I got my billboards in New York. You know, like, I did the run of all the press. And like, I did it. Like, I did it at the highest level. Right? So, like, I don't feel... So, like, when people will be like, oh, you know, do you miss LA? Or do you... Like, that's what LA is about. Is, like, doing it at the highest level. And I did it. So now that like, it wasn't just the special, it was just all of it. Like, and I really had to, like, really stand up for myself too. Like, I remember I had just gotten this new agent at, like, I got poached because I was actually at CAA and I got poached and went over to, they merged with CAA. I can't remember what they were called before. I just don't care. But I ended up getting poached. And then, like, my agent was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to come to your taping because it's during Thanksgiving weekend and my wife needs my help to travel back with the kids. And I was like I feel like what happens to me a lot is that people who I know center work like as a lifestyle, when it comes to me, they forsake it when it comes to me. Like they're like, "Oh, but not you though." But you know, we really did like a great production, and I feel like I made a classic stand-up special. And so, as a stand-up, it kind of becomes where it's like you're chasing the next special. And that's also just like, the par for the course. Like you do specials. Like that's part of being a stand-up. And I just kind of feel like I just kind of didn't, like I didn't feel like a special, like I needed to do another special. And then the way it actually ended up panning out is then In Amanda We Trust came out, which ended up being a documentary, which also ends up being like a really pivotal benchmark to my re-radicalization. So I would say that's like my biggest accomplishment. But there's also other stuff, just like Smart, Funny, and Black. Like for a lot of people, they may not know, but like Smart, Funny, and Black was a show that I did for years that I built up from nothing. I built it up from nothing. It was an idea that came to me one day, and I remember calling my mom and being like, what do you think about doing like a game show, like turning Smart, Funny, and Black from a stand-up like showcase to a game show? And she was like, I don't know. She was wrong. And Smart, Funny, and Black was that girl. And, I'm sure one day I'll bring it back at the right time. This is not the right time. We weren't on the school circuit. I mean, we did some schools, but we were never on like the school circuit. Thank you, Joni. And then during the pandemic, we did Smart, Funny, and Black in the crib. Yeah, like it was just a time, And it just meant a lot to me to be able to continue to grow things while being on Insecure. Because I just didn't want Insecure to be like the thing that I'm banking on, because all gigs come to an end. And I feel like that's something that a lot of folks in Hollywood kind of forget. But it was always apparent to me that I needed to make sure that I do my own thing and make it be things that are really like that I'm very passionate about, and that will live. So like people who saw Smart, Funny, and Black, like you guys, you experienced something really special. Can you see what the new collection look like? I haven't put it out. I'm not even sure what the new collection look like. I keep thinking it's gonna be this one thing, but then it don't be. It's like it hasn't materialized in my mind. And then I had an idea this morning of something, but then I by the end of the day, I'm not sure if I still like that idea. No, we didn't do it at A&M. I mean, I performed at A&M several times. Like, I performed at A&M so much I had a man there. I love my ancestor calling cards, y'all. I just really do. I love my ancestor calling cards. Get your little insert, and it tells you what about the calling cards. And you get one each. No, you get two each. Sorry. You get two calling cards each. This is Harriet. This is Frederick. This is Martin. And then you get a blank one that you can color. But you get two of each so that you can give one away, which is what they're for, to mail to a comrade. And you can keep one for yourself, or, you know, frame it, or, you know, whatever floats your boat. Whichever floats your boat. I want to shout out everybody that's been sleeping next to a pile of clothes for over a week. I see you. I am you. I want to shout us out. Kimberly Parkhurst, this is yours. I want to shout us out. Because, baby, did we discuss the Obama girl? Baby, we've been on here for like damn near 2 hours. Show did. That's how we jumped it out. Girl, I got the laundry basket but I decided to get one that like matched the other ones I had, and so it needed to be assembled. Baby, the thing ain't been assembled yet. Do your thing, Jataya. Take your time. It's different times these days. It is different times these days. Like, I've been hemorrhaging people from my Patreon. And when we, you know, did our due diligence, everybody's reason was financial hardship. Has there ever been anyone in the industry that had me starstruck? Keanu Reeves. Janet Jackson. And LeVar Burton. Kiana was so nice. He took a picture with me in the lobby of, we both were at the same agency at one point. And I was like, he was like, yes, it's fine. I was like, sir. She held her hand too tight. Man, on one of those like throwback pages on Instagram today, they had a clip from My So-Called Life. Oh my gosh. I haven't recovered. I have not recovered. Like, I want to put out this drop, but I just feel like I haven't, I don't know, like I feel like I haven't made it. like pop the way I want to. Because right now it's this, and there's a pin. So there's a sticker, there's a pin, there's a magnet. This is a sticker, so I wouldn't make it bigger. But yeah. Like, I feel like I would want, like, pillows with it on it. I just got a sublimation printer. And I went last year too, Patricia. I had the time of my life. My boy Active is her DJ. So I got a sublimation printer. And I want to try putting it on pillows, see what that does. I mean, the thing about it, Rachel, with the journal, it's like, yeah, but I've become so kind of picky about, like, I feel like each drop just needs to have like a uniqueness to it. And then I sometimes get like paralyzed in trying to figure out what that is. Which is part of the reason why I feel like I need to really like use this January. Use this July to really just let my brain relax. The reason why I'm up right now doing this is because I didn't do shit today. I didn't do shit today. I told myself I was going to get up and do this today, and then the sun was out. And so when the sun was out, I was like, well, now the sun is out. So I can't be in here doing this. The sun is out. And so, and my landscaper, I really love my landscaper. Like, that's my dog. And he asked me today if he was a high quality white, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know yet. We have a good laugh, but if ICE came here right now, what would you do? And he was like, I don't know. And I said, see right there, you slipping. If you were high quality white, you would have already taken steps to know what you would do, because you would be the safest out of everyone here, including Jordy. And he was like, I like did like an anger management class one time, and he was like, a big part of the class was actually talking about white privilege. And I was like, tell me more. And he said, they really talked a lot in the class about how your privilege be a lot of the reason why you out here being angry. Like, that's what they were telling us. And he was like, there was a lot of white guys in the class who had a hard time dealing with that, like hearing that. But he was like, I mean, it's true. Like, they would feel some type of way about being told no and then act up. So he was like, no, I hear that. Like, I could tell you like, if Barry came to what would the ancestor say? He would literally be like this. I would blow that man's mind. I love me some Barry though. That's the homie. So I had come down, like, I have a pond, and he was like, yo, I came down there with my towel. I put on sunscreen. He was like, you look like you're going to the beach. I was like, I'm going to the Palm Beach. And so he went to get lunch, and he brought me lunch back. And so we sat there and ate lunch, and told stories and told jokes. So, so he said, so he was like, yo, wait. So he said that one time his wife, like, I forgot what the story, like they had a friend who was married, and then like the friend, like she got divorced, and then she like was dating this new guy. And since the wife was still friends with her, they asked like for if they could go on a double date. So he was like, I mean, yeah, whatever. So they went on this double date, and he was like, she comes here, and Barry is like a New York guy. He talks like this. He's a New Yorker. So he was like, this guy is like a Guido. And she said that they ended up going to the bathroom, the women. So he was just there with this Guido dude, and he was like, he's like, I'm just here with this guy. And it's like, this ain't even my type of guy, man. So he's like, small talk begins. And so the guy asked him, like, so Barry, what do you do? And so he's like, oh, I'm a landscaper. And he talked about, because he used to do like construction where he would like install, like he would do like the windows on like skyscrapers and shit like that. So he says he finishes telling him this, and then the guy is like, so he's like, oh, what do you do? And he said, the guy is like, build prisons. And he was like, he said it like it was gonna shake me up. like he had really like put me in place. And he said he was like, okay. And so then fast forward, he says, he said that he got in like he like cut somebody off or something, and they got mad at him when he was driving. And he said that the person like rolled down their window and was like, fuck you, learn how to drive, blah, 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 blah. And he said, he rolled down his window and said, build prisons. And he said the guy was like, I just think that is so funny. Exactly, Rolando. He was like, I mean, the way the guy had said it to me was like, he was like swelling up. So it just came to mind, like, that's what I'm going to say in this situation. He said the other car was like, and pulled off. So that's the kind of conversations that me and Barry be having. We be having a good old time. Like he said, he used to have a homeboy named James Speed. And he said, James was fast as hell, but he had like a younger brother who was like really, really like younger than him. And he said he was at James's crib one day, and like the little brother walked in and was like, James, they used to call him Stevie, and he came in and was like, hey Stevie, you gonna take me to Funko? And he was like, I have been repeating, hey yo Stevie, you gonna take me to Funko for 25 years. He was like, I literally will just like, I will be driving down the street, and I'm like, Barry, you know that you're neurodivergent, right? Like all this shit you talking about, this is straight autism shit. He's like,
Hey, yo, Stevie, you want to take me to Bug Code?
I was like, all of this shit. He was like, if I hear a phrase, I will repeat that phrase for literally years. And I was like, yes, you fucking Audie. Like, you in here with us.
Hey, yo, Stevie, you can take me to Bug Code.
And he does the voice. And then he'll like put recordings in his phone of him doing the voice. And then he said that like his wife be like taking money to go get cigarettes, and he'd be like, yo, stop doing that. Like, don't use my money for that. Like, stop. And so he was like, I came up with a jingle for it. I was like, what you mean you came up with a jingle? And he was like, I came up with a jingle for my wife, for my wife's, low-key addiction to cigarettes and alcohol. And I was like, well, what's the jingle? And he was like, ciggies and booze, ciggies and booze, ciggies and booze. Yo! Ciggies and booze. I was like, you sound like an alley cat. Like an animated alley cat. Like this would be like the follow-up record to scat to like the cat that's in the video Opposites Attract with with Paula Abdul. I don't like cigarettes. I like to smoke. Doo-doo. Ciggies and booze. Ciggies and booze. Yo, so like I asked him today, I was like, Barry, did you grow up with a lot of black people? He was like, yes. He was like, I went to Spring Valley High School. And Spring Valley is the hood. Okay. Remember when I told you I was going to the hood? That's where I was. So yo, Kismet, you're gonna be singing Ciggies and Booze because I'm over here singing Ciggies and Booze. He's gonna love it. When I tell him that I told y'all about Ciggies and Booze, he is gonna be crying, yo. Ciggies and Booze, Ciggies and Booze. Yo. So today I didn't do shit. I sat outside. Yes, wearing a zoot suit with one of them long chains, Rolando. Ciggies and Booze, Ciggies and Booze. I didn't do shit today. I sat outside and I shot the shit with Barry and his guys. They finished assembling my above the ground garden. So I'm about to be doing that. Ciggies and Booze. I like to smoke. Doo-doo. Yes, Rolando. Like you see it. I don't know, Patricia. I feel like I have to really like get focused because I feel like I don't know shit. And so I'm gonna ask Logan if she'll come up. Focus on Infinity. I'm gonna ask Logan if she'll come up. Logan Grendel. If she'll come up and help me get started. Because I really feel like I don't know. And knowing Logan, she gonna come up here in a cape. Logan's gonna come up here in like a full makeup and a cape and be like, what are we growing? Cantaloupe? Oh, man. I feel like I met such cool people. See, my week, Rachel, it was like, it wanted to be slow, And it just felt like I never got the hang of this week. Like I feel like I was always chasing something. And so, like if you notice, like this week's episode of the Wednesday's episode of Views from Mandaland, like it don't have no thumbnail yet because I just never got around to it. Like I never decided like I need to do this. Amanda. All right, y'all. Mission accomplished. Thank you, F Story. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, Claudia's a delight. That's my roomie on this little trip, on this freedom ride that we going on. That's my roomie. I like to smoke. Yes, like I'm gonna do tomatoes as well, Rachel. Cucumbers, lettuce, potatoes. I heard cantaloupe is cool. Would I interview Ismatu Gwendolyn? Of course. Girl V. Jord, welcome, baby. Welcome. I did it. I did it. I did all those orders. So those will all go out tomorrow. And then I got to do the next batch. We come together cause I believe. It ain't fiction, just a natural fact. What is this? Oh, I sent that. When you did your small doses interview with Kirk Franklin, did he bother you with his comments towards you? I mean, not really, because like Kirk is a little nigga. Like he's not forceful with it. It's just like you just like, Kirk, shut up. Like, you know, like it didn't feel I could see how like hearing it felt creepy. It didn't feel creepy. It was more just like, stop. Just stop. You know, because people be programmed, you know, to kind of act a certain way. So I didn't take it no way. It's Kirk. Kirk is cool. Kirk is a cool dude. Kirk is a Fort Worth. Nah. You know? So I'm going to go to bed. I'm really proud of myself for getting this done. And yeah. So I have 75 more orders that I have to fill. But these are actually pretty easy to fill. So maybe I'll get some of these done in the morning. feel like I can knock some of these out in the morning before I go to Taekwondo. This was a really good live, Sealand 84. So make sure you go back and watch. And thank you guys for joining and for letting me body double. Thank you, Jonathan, for hearing out my perspective. And I hope you guys make sure that you make room tonight in your prayers for all of the oppressed, for all of the indoctrinated who don't know better, and for yourselves.